And we are live. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Hey.
That's it. Just hi.
I just got a notification that the podcast is live.
Okay. Now it's like, see, I was watching a YouTube thing and nothing was happening, and I was very confused at that moment right there. So,
it takes. I got to turn my volume down.
Are you recording this, Mike? Just check.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It will be recorded. It will be fine. Hey, look, Joel's watching.
Joel, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Sorry, I've been a little busy trying to get this thing going.
How you enjoying this this lovely cool weather here, buddy? Hey, Cyborg. Nice. I see. Okay, so there we go. I got this now.
Do you have it now? I mean, you got to remember that the Facebook or not the Facebook, the YouTube thing is always a little bit slow.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was a whole different thing, but it's all good. You have to, folks, we're not a professional organization like ours.
Never have been.
You're not. Sorry.
Everybody knows that.
We've got André here to help us out, though.
Yeah, there's a professional.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Aero Geek, Michael Hetrick, Michael S. Howdy, everybody.
Yeah, welcome, everybody. Glad to see everybody coming in. Sweet. So this is episode 46. We're going to call it the FliteFest Texas 2018 pre-show. Now, does that mean we're going to talk about just FliteFest and that's it? Probably not.
No, we're going
to have Patrick here, Squirrel and all that. So it'll all be good. But I want to say thanks to Ben, Eddie, André for coming on, and of course, Pat for always being around when we're on.
I got nothing else to do, buddy.
And I just want to apologize to all our listeners to start out with by saying, it's been 3 months since we've done anything, since right before FliteFest Ohio. And you got to know that life gets in the way sometimes, and that's the way it goes. But we're going to try to make this a little more often than every 3 months. So
we said that last time, but we're going to try again.
Yeah, we actually have a couple of guests that's already wanting to be on, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So
cheers.
So cheers. Yeah. Here's my water because I'm not drinking tonight. At least alcohol.
I've got Coke.
Well, there you go. So anyway, let's start off with just talking about FliteFest Texas 2018, starting November 1st through the 4th.
I'm excited.
I'm thrilled to death since I missed Ohio, and I can't wait to see everybody.
Yep,
I'm jealous.
Oh, and
Ben,
I'm not the only one that's excited. Look, who else is excited?
Oh dear, flat Mike. We laughed so hard in Ohio with that adventure.
There was some photos that I got sent to me personally that I think some of the people in the group may have seen that was a little worrisome.
A little?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you wipe him down after when you received him, a little disinfectant?
Dude, he got soaked in Lysol.
Andre's duck. He was a little worrisome. I don't know what was going on in that hotel room.
I don't, it really scared me. And
Mike looked happy though.
Well, he was definitely made up.
He was.
I don't know. I'm still worried and a little bothered by that. Louis Rousseau scares me some.
Yeah.
He took Flat Mike to a whole new level.
Well, a whole different level. And yeah. But it looked like he had a great time, so I guess I can't complain too much.
Yeah, well, Flat Mike had a very satisfied look on his face when he came back the next morning.
And if you guys that are just listening and not able to see this podcast, you need to go out to YouTube and at least take a look at Flat Mike, because he was assaulted. He was assaulted deeply. and over again, I think.
I don't know if deeply is a word you really want to use.
I think
Okay.
we should talk about FliteFest.
Let's stop.
Moving on.
I mean, Texas, that is.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming back to Texas because I guess he's going to take off with somebody else. I'm not sure who, but
he gets around.
Yeah, he kind of gets around a little bit.
So we got this little FliteFest Texas thing coming up, and I'm very excited for it because I get to crash Eddie and Wendy's house, and then we're going to go up to Apache Pass Air Park, and that venue looks pretty darn cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. The flyaways are interesting, aren't they? I mean, last year we did 2, and I think even the flight test guys admit it was neat, but a little much when you think about the hours and the time involved and what it takes out of their cycle for production. But going to this place, which is an established RC flying park and then some.
Yeah.
Half the workload's already done. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you're not cutting down any trees, are you?
No.
We're
not
like
California. Down, we're not mowing, and it's they're established. They got RV parking with all the facilities and everything. You're going to have some nice property to camp on. So it already looks really good.
Yeah, dude, I'm breaking down my breakdown fly rod. I'm going to do some fishing on the river that goes through there.
Hey, nice.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wake up, Eddie.
I'm awake. I had to cough. I was trying to be polite and not blow everybody's ears out.
Thank you.
So André, as volunteer coordinator, given I have no idea, like I have no feel for how many people are registered, what size this is going to be. Do you have enough volunteers? Do you feel good about this going into it? What's the dealio?
So last time I talked to Austin, they were trying to push towards. I think they've passed the 350 pilot mark, and they're shooting for 400 now, which is going to be perfect. Volunteer wise, I think I'm on tap, and I'm more than happy to say that my, the red shirt guys is I'd say about half of you guys are, red shirts from Ohio. So
yeah,
so the knowledge base is there, and this event will probably have a little bit of the Florida feel to it. So it's not going to be overwhelming in the sense that like Ohio is such a big, like we hit the ground running on Thursday, and it's by time Friday we're at full speed for like 4 days straight.
On Thursday, we hit the ground running on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a beast, but we've also got to establish everything where we're rolling into this thing. And if you look at the map, which is on the website now, we've got our STEM tent. We've only got one build tent, and then we've got the store, the crew, and then the rest of it's established. And 2 flight lines, which will be kind of interesting: the east and west, and then the full scale. I don't know to what degree we're using. I think we're just using the grass strips only last time I talked to Austin. And then obviously there's the FPV park and everything, and then the dedicated parking. So we will have shuttle services and all this. So I think last time I looked, because I've got to do my volunteer stuff this weekend and set out the schedule, but I think we're in the 40, 50 range for regular volunteers, and we have 20 odd red shirts.
Wow.
So nice. my flight crew. So I feel we have enough to deal with the majority of it. And as I always say, going into this kind of thing, when I talk to the volunteers, it's about flexibility, and we will adjust and coordinate. And so, Friday is kind of our soft launch day, and then we go in there and we work from there. And then by Sunday, we've got this thing nailed down. And every event is I call it a unique learning experience every time we go at it, because we learn something new. But collectively between everybody who has stepped up to be a flight crew member, myself and Austin and the whole flight test team, we've got a fairly big knowledge base now of how to run these events and how to organize them. And if you look, and I think this is what really makes me happy and proud, is if you look where we started in 2014 and you look at Ohio this year, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, It's gotten bigger, but I think we made some really good steps this year to keep that feeling alive, and just, you know, and have a bunch. And we've, you know, I've got my flight crew chiefs and everything, the flight line guys, and we really took those steps that we've talked about for a long time, and we were able to just plant everything and work. I was so proud leaving Ohio on the the following Monday when it was all done, because it worked out better than I could have hoped for. So that says a lot. It says a lot about the community, and says a lot about all the effort and the pride and care that's put in by everybody who picks up a red shirt or an orange shirt, you know.
It was for me. It was definitely, you know, you could feel like FliteFest had come to maturity in terms of a large event, or at least, you know, had taken some big steps. There wasn't anything nature was throwing against us or any of that thing this year, thankfully.
Yeah.
But 2014 will always be magical.
Oh yeah.
But this was a fantastic year. Everything just seemed to feel right this year.
So I'm excited. I was a little concerned that I wasn't going to be able to do Texas, and then things have turned around really nicely. So I'll be flying out on the Wednesday and landing. You know, it's not too bad to travel. It's not like California where by the time we get to dinner, it was up for 24 hours, right?
Right.
So at least this one won't be as bad. And then we go from there, and we just, you know, feel it out. I've never been to this place. I guess, Eddie, you're the only one who's flown out of Apache?
I haven't flown at Apache.
Oh,
Patrick Hines has been out there, but I have not been out there yet.
Yeah. And we will be running some of our normal services, like the shuttle service and everything, particularly for the RV camping, the connected RV camping, because it is a little bit of a distance away. So some of the standard offerings that we like to put into play are going to be there. And then
what I'm really excited about is that since we're in Texas, we don't have golf carts, we have horses, right?
Oh yeah, horse and buggy.
Yeah, totally. That just right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be neat, actually. And then I think there's even a golf cart rental service, so I'm sure I'll have few golf cart police running around just to make sure no one's getting run over and stuff. You know,
I saw
all
that
the
they had
normal
like
fun
20
stuff.
or some.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
nice.
It's always Saturday night where you know, all our antennas are like peaked because people are zipping around. You're like, no, I don't want my medical crews to have to deal with that.
Right.
So it's a fascinating experience still, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're coming into an event where we're at an established location. You can't ask for more than like the place looks, even just looking at the map, I'm like, this place
looks amazing.
And you know, we've actually got a guy who's going to be doing all the handling the RV, who's a local there. So, you know, that part of it, there's one less thing where we've tried and manage. We've just said, no, here we go, and firmed it up. And the schedule looks pretty darn good. And I think we actually might, you know, I might actually be able to relax and enjoy a combat.
That's my goal, Andre. My goal is to, for the first time at FliteFest, to actually fly in a combat. I have not yet. I've been there every year. Haven't yet flown in a combat.
Oh, I've never experienced a combat, but every time I stand there, it's just stressful when you're doing the role and you're watching, and like you know, we have stories of California and stuff, and you're just like, oh gosh, you know. So it's
flying out over the highway.
Yeah. So this one should be pretty good, and I think I don't think it's a sole electrical event this year as well. So
Eddie, bring the Telemaster.
I don't remember
where are we gonna put it.
Yeah,
it's 7 feet long and 8 feet wide.
Rent a trailer.
You got a spare tent? You got a spare tent strapped to the roof of the truck, right?
That would be about the only way we
can just fly it down there.
Right.
We'll let Wendy drive, and you and I just take turns flying over the truck as we go down.
That would take a long time because that is one slow airplane.
Hey, I know how you can make it faster.
Yeah, put 30 EDFs on it.
No, just the wings.
Oh, yeah, clipped wing Telemaster.
There you go.
Nice, I like it.
Go from 8 feet down to 7.
It'll improve the roll rate.
Absolutely, it doesn't roll now.
Unless you cut the ailerons off.
Well, yeah, that would be bad. Well, it'd probably fly great as a 3-channel.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the roll would just be gone.
So, Andre, do you know, have they talked about how they're going to do? Because I know that not everybody's going to be RV camping versus tent camping. Have they talked about that? Because I really haven't seen a whole lot about it.
As in, where we
where we're going to put tents?
That's a really good question.
Because I'm in a tent.
RV parking, hookup, overflow parking.
I just wonder if we're going to put tents in the non-hookup areas, which are where it says RV parking, no hookups.
It's a potential. I'm looking at the map too.
I'm gonna go out on the limb and say on the ground.
I'm shooting for on the ground.
Yeah, maybe we'll put you right in line with the FPV tent, FPV flying area. You know.
Absolutely. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a spot intended, maybe right on the the full scale runway.
Tough to drive stakes in the blacktop though.
I'll bring a big hammer. It's Texas.
I was gonna say, bring a sledgehammer. It's all good.
We'll cut wood in the street.
That's right. Yeah, I lost my hatchet that year. It's okay though. I probably would have hurt myself with it by now. So
probably.
I'm surprised you didn't that day.
Me too. Eddie's like, yeah, go cut wood in the street. Okay, and I did, and it worked.
I told you it would.
Yeah.
And then, Andre, another thing that you get to look forward to is everything's an hour behind for you.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? That's okay. I think I'll be fine. And then remember, Sunday of the event, we fall back.
Oh, do the clocks change during the event?
During the event, so we
get an extra hour of yes,
or an extra hour of staying. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out. But yes, it won't be as bad. California, that was 3 hours. That was bizarre, and I kept forgetting. James was getting upset with me because I forget the call, and by the time I'd remember to call, he was like, it was midnight, so he's all in bed.
Yeah,
and so I kept getting in trouble for that. And then you come back to work, and you're just like, ugh. Coming back isn't bad, but like when I did the California trip, that was what do they say, like an hour a day. So I think by the end of it, we were into I'm not hungry for breakfast at noon or whatever. So yeah, it won't be too bad actually. So like I said, I get in at a decent time. Like I'm landing at like 12:30 my time in the afternoon, right? So it'll be 1:30 your time, I think. So
yep.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. And then someone's gonna come pick me up from the airport.
Where are you flying into?
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, me too. I'm flying in Thursday.
Yeah.
Into Austin because that's what 30, 40 minutes from Apache.
I don't know. I know it's about an hour out from where we're staying at the hotel, so it won't be too bad.
Yeah, I'm staying at a Holiday Inn. I don't even know where.
You're not camping?
No.
Oh man.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have a nice hot shower every day.
Me too. At Mike's hotel.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say.
And if not, I'm going to Andre's.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll have to make sure I get extra towels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I noticed on the map it said you guys are. It's 8 miles from a 24-hour Walmart, so that's always nice. Like that.
Why do they have showers there?
Sorry.
So why do they have showers there?
I don't know. You could probably buy some water and a Coleman stove and make a shower.
Absolutely.
But
some water.
Still handy for all the supplies and rubber boots and stuff like that. Oh, did I just say rubber boots?
No, I've looked at the weather. There is only one day, and it's a 40% chance of rain. The rest of the time looks amazing. So,
and again, it can change because the weather guys are always right. Correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, speaking of that, I will be getting daily forecasts from Tim.
Oh, right.
Tim Burke,
yeah.
He's a meteorologist, and he was sending us information for Ohio. So I have a pardon me, he's been feeding me a report and will feed me a report throughout the entire weekend. So the updated outlook continues to indicate the dry weather will hold true for the upcoming weekend until Halloween, when a approaching cold front will renew the risk of showers and thunder showers. Da 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 da. I'm not going to be a weather forecaster, okay, guys?
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. So a November thunderstorm versus an Ohio July thunderstorm. I'm not a bit worried. Although I did used to live in Texas, and I have experienced some incredible changes in weather in that time of year. I won't get into that, but
it could be 90 in the day and 30 at night. I mean, you just never know what you're going to end up with.
And honest to God, it could be 90 at 3 o'clock and 50 at 3:30.
Yeah,
I've experienced that. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's shorts maybe, but I'm thinking jeans and t-shirts, which I don't mind.
You're going to be in shorts.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I like.
You're going to be so hot. You're just going to.
Thanks, Pat.
You're going to be so hot.
You're going to be hot and not that way.
Yeah. I guess that's the running joke. The flight test staff never get to see me when I'm clean and polished, right? It's always like, I'm grungy and dirty by the end of the day, but that's just the nature of the beast, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if the venue itself, if folks are out there planning on going and they haven't been to that area before, it's kind of at the foot or the beginning of the Texas Hill Country, which is just a beautiful area. That whole area out there, like San Antonio, Austin, New Braunfels, it's kind of at the doorstep of all that, and it's just and this is a really smart and good time of year to have it there.
Yeah, I think talking to Austin, that was one of the caveats when they laid out the fall location. They checked the weather. They don't want it too hot, they don't want it too cold, and so we can enjoy the environment, enjoy the experience. So that is, like California's weather was awesome, as I recall. Actually, no, I think I burned it. That was nice because I think I still came home even in April. I think I still came home to snow. So. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No problem be snow when I come back from this one.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. It's getting kind of chilly here. It definitely has finally started to feel like fall.
I felt my East Coast side still kicking because I went to the field today to fly, and I got there and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and everybody there was wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
What are you all doing? They're like, it's cold. I'm like, where?
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Canada. It's cold there. Canada. Yeah.
Thanks.
So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
What have you been doing in terms of RC lately?
I've done one thing.
What's that?
In RC. I actually got to go to the Rotor Riot Rampage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool. How was that?
It was actually really cool. It was for everybody that's ever been to FliteFest. This was somewhat like a very small FliteFest, only there was a lot of adult beverages and adult language. Other than that, I'm telling you, it was very similar in the feeling of it. It was very much a festival, and I went, of course, because I'm still friends with Chad Capper, and I've been flying a lot of quads lately, and I really enjoyed it. But I didn't know how it was going to be as compared to a FliteFest, so I went more to kind of check it out. And I'm really glad I did, because I got to meet a lot of cool people. It's surprising there are a lot of the people in this community, in the flight test community, that is very similar or even the same people that are in the Rotor Riot community. But I think the Rotor Riot community guys that are really community guys in the Rotor Riot side, they stay more on that side. They do the flight test side. But a lot of people knew me from this podcast and from Flight Test in general. So it was pretty awesome. Really cool places to fly. I didn't fly pretty much the whole time I was there until after it was over. And then I got to fly. And because I was doing the same thing I do at FliteFest, I, volunteer, help out, do whatever. But they run everybody off at 5 o'clock on Sunday, and we got to fly from 5 o'clock till dark. And oh my God, I had to go.
Cool.
So
was less wings, more propellers.
It was all propellers. There wasn't a wing out there.
Ah,
yeah.
That's a shame.
Well,
not even an FPV wing.
Nope. No, this was all like quads flying around buildings and trees, and
okay.
They actually built a course out there for the freestyle event. That's pretty much what I flew mostly, and oh my God, it was incredible. Indoor whoop flying. A newbie drone set up an indoor race course that was amazing. And at the time I didn't have a whoop, but now I do.
Nice.
This is the new brushless too.
The Inductrix.
Yep. And this thing is nice. But I need some higher C rate batteries. I don't like these 25C batteries. I want
500s, yeah.
Yeah, the 525Cs, I don't think they have enough oomph to them. So I'd like to have a little more oomph. So
how does that compare to like flying a Gremlin?
It's still not as fast. I mean, this is absolutely more indoor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on a calm day, you can fly it outside, and it'll do flips and rolls and everything else because it has air mode as well. But this one you can actually fly around the house.
Okay.
So I like it. Matter of fact, I did that before the podcast. I had to get a little time in,
Mike has turned into a quad guy.
Yeah, I kind of have.
I remember when I never thought that would happen.
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen.
I know.
But
well, Mike, if you need somebody to give your carbon cub some love, I'd be happy to help you out.
What's that, Andre?
What's that one, Andre?
That's you may want to try the Venom battery. That's 30C. That's about the same price, probably cheaper than the E-Flite 501S.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to. I just haven't been out yet. I've only had it about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks now, but I haven't been home, so.
Yep.
I've really only had it about 3 days.
What is Pat doing?
A squirrel mode.
He's looking for a battery.
He's looking for a battery for the
I'm trying to figure out if I gave all my Venom batteries away or not. I don't know. Anyway. I had some of those little guys.
Pat,
I guess I gave them away.
It's not going to help Pat. It's not going to help Mike.
Well, welcome to the FT Community Cast. This is what it is.
So I haven't yet. This is it. This is all you get. I'm sorry.
So, Mike, are the props pressed on the new one?
Yes, they are. They're still pressed, but here's the interesting thing. Hang on a minute. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on, focus. It's not going to focus, but they're still pressed on. But I'm telling you right now,
better.
Oh my God, much better. I don't know quite because I don't even have any extra props for it yet.
Yeah,
but man, I'm telling you what. I've crashed the out of it numerous times already, and they're not even slipping, nothing. I don't know.
I had one come off, and we have an entranceway that I can pop up into and go up to the upper level living room, and I was just cresting the ledge when one of the props shut off, and James watched the thing barrel roll through the air, land on the right side, land in the living room versus coming down on the tile floor. And I'm just like, enough of this thing. And that's my red one. And brand new props, same thing. They just come off all the time. And I'm like, come on.
This one,
every other flight. I've
already put, I don't know, 15 batteries, 20 batteries to it already.
Yeah.
And I have yet to have a prop come off, and it does have that meow mode. So you land like this, you unarm it and rearm it, and it'll spin up and flip right over.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
the
amazing.
The problem with that outside in the grass, I've had it where it's caught and you'll do the flip and the prop just goes and you spend 20 minutes looking for your prop. Right?
Oh,
so
well,
come on.
Well, I've had this one. Sharon has a some kind of blanket on the couch. It's got fringe on it. Yeah. It's been all twisted up in that more than once.
Scissors work great for that.
Yeah.
But you just disarm, go down and get it, and you know it works.
I give them credit. Every time they come out with a new one, they tweak it. The frame looks better. The camera looks better on this. It's got more frequencies, and it's just getting every model gets better and better and better and better, which is what they need to do because they need to encourage us to go from this guy. I mean, we've all gone from the small ones to the yellow ones to the tiny whoops and everything. So
I still have
it is kind of neat.
Whatever that one, the first one they came out with, that first FPV one.
The Blade,
the
Nano, yes.
The Nano QX. That was it. The Nano QX.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is pretty amazing. The camera is unbelievable on it.
And you've got the onboard FPV, so the OSD and information. It's just those incremental changes that make you want to do it. And the brushless motors are fantastic.
Yeah, these things are amazing.
Yeah. How's the flight time then on the 500?
I'm getting
what
about,
Patrick's still looking for.
I fly pretty hard, so I'm getting about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, that's still respectable.
Yeah, because they don't have the old standard end on them.
Yeah, no, they got the high voltage. Yeah,
they got a higher voltage.
There you go, focused. Yep.
Oh, it almost did. Oh man.
There you go.
Hey. Of course,
there it is. Now y'all start talking, but these are better ends than the old one. So it actually seems like you don't get near the sag because I'm flying down to about 3.2 while it's still flying. At about 3.2, and I can fly it all the way back up from downstairs before it gets to where it just says low battery, don't fly anymore. But I try.
I still have my Eachine E10 that I haven't flown in a year and a half that can't carry a camera on it because it doesn't have the power.
Well, that new 65 mil looks really good too. I just got to a point where I'm like, look, if I was flying this thing to death and it was like, okay, this the old brushless needs to be retired. Or brush, sorry. I would definitely be looking at the next generation. But for now, I'm going to fly this as much as I can. Have you flown outside yet, Mike?
No, I have not. But I've talked to people that do, and they love it.
Chris and I were amazed how well it was and how well the camera worked. And it just gets out there a little better than the old Inductrix, which is still a fantastic piece of gear. I like the old one still too because it'll fit through banisters. Like this thing just won't get through. You're kind of like bouncing off everything.
Yeah.
The other one I used to be able to just zip right through little narrow entrances.
Yeah. And you're still missing a prop.
This one,
it's there somewhere.
This one with my head plays, I'm not using the Dot King with my True D Diversity inside the house, so I just use my my head place with a
it's big old 3S on it and let it rock.
And I'm telling you, there's nowhere in the house in my old house. I mean, I haven't went to the basement yet. I need to open the door and do that and see if I can go all the way down there. But I've been all over because I'm upstairs like in one corner and I can go all the way to the other corner downstairs and I still have perfect video. It's amazing.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that transmitter, the new transmitter, and you've got full spectrum. So if you've got like 3 or 4 of your buddies flying around, you've got enough bandwidth that you can actually get a couple of them flying through the house. Remember like what 2-3 years ago you had 8 Fat Shark channels that were available to you, right? So it's been a good improvement on that product.
Yeah, and they always bled on each other.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll bring it down to Texas with me. So
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of bringing things down to Texas, so I'm going to fly down, and for the first time, I'm taking a drone on an airplane, a commercial airliner. And because I don't do the drone thing very often, what should I be prepared for?
How many lipos are you bringing?
It just has two lipos. It's all in one little compact case.
Just carry them on. Don't check them.
Oh yeah, it's totally carry on.
Carried on.
Separate the two lipos, and honestly, you can separate them in Ziploc bags and then put them in one lipo bag.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I like taping off the connectors.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would always take cheap electrical tape and just put it over the ends.
Yep.
That makes TSA happy, and tell them when they're getting ready to scan, say, hey, there's a couple lipo batteries in there that is gonna probably flag for you.
This is a Lily camera, so it's like it's more like a DJI battery where it doesn't plug in; it just slides into place.
Oh, that's fine.
Tape over.
Yeah, cover the contacts.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That's all you got to do.
Just makes them happy.
And what you can do, because when I went to Rampage, I flew down and I had probably 18 batteries with me. Yeah, well,
That's probably what I brought to Ohio this year.
Yeah, and all you do, of course, I got the caps that you can put on the XT.
Oh, nice.
So I put those on there, but I did tape up the balancer ends, just taped them up, put them each in individual Ziplocs, and stuck them in my lipo bag and stuck them in my backpack. And I had no trouble with any of them, but I did print out what they say you can carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if anybody asks, you can whip.
Yeah, because it's a milliamp. It's a total milliamp, right?
Watt hours.
It's 1 hour, 1 amp hour, right? Or
1 watt hour.
1 watt hour. Yeah, and we're talking about milliwatts, and so
well,
you have to carry a lot of batteries.
Well, and there isn't a limit on total watt hours of all the batteries. It's a limit on how big a single battery can be.
Right.
And most of our, I mean,
I might get in trouble with my 6S 6200s, right?
Maybe that might get close.
Yeah, I don't know. Ben, you were flying. What was the brick that you had in that little clipped wing? The super duper angry.
Oh,
Angry Bee.
The Turbo Bee. That one actually was pretty small. That was the 1550 6S.
Okay, it felt like it was
the biggest battery I have in watt hours is a 6000 4-cell that I used in the C-17 years ago.
Okay.
But I think Andre's 6 cells.
Yeah.
You had a 4400 that you brought. We put a 3300 in that Harpoon.
Yeah. And I had the 62s, and I think I had the 45s as well. So, yeah. John Davis says 6S 5000 is about as big as you can get away with.
Okay. There you go.
That's a lot of batteries. So yeah.
That's a big battery.
Yeah, I don't know if Eddie's going to have me covered, and we all know the rule. The rule is I fly once a day.
You want a jet? You want me to bring a jet, Andre?
We'll see.
I could bring the Vampire.
Oh, that's a pussycat, man. I'd fly that one.
Or the F-16.
No, I would feel bad about the F-16. The Vampire is another game, but the F-16 and I don't get along, especially gray. Although it could be better.
No, mine's Arctic camo.
Oh, that's right.
It looks amazing in the sky.
Nice. It's just landing on that grass field with all those elements. I mean,
no, we'll walk over. We'll have an electrical problem.
You have an F-16 that's not my F-16?
I have one of yours too.
Built?
No, it's in the box right back there.
I'm just giving you that.
I got one over here, but we actually last weekend Lewis and Martin were over, and we had a bit of a FliteFest North, and we had hoped to build, but we got a little sidetracked with some FEV truck action till like almost midnight. So we actually didn't build. So I've got Tim Wright had sent me a laser kit and of your F-16, Ben, and the Goblin.
He sent me one of those too.
Yeah, so I gotta just sit down and build them, but that's it's kind of my build season's coming up because obviously it's gonna get wet and but I know I think if I was going in and I would probably do what I did like in California, and I'll just I'd build an Arrow in like 45 minutes and fly that at the event. The Arrow is just like that perfect airplane for that. That or like the Scout. If we're talking about flight test planes that you can build quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Andre, there's 2 arrows that are going to be coming, so you won't have to build one.
Cool, man. Yeah,
And
it's
yeah.
just nice not to have to take it. I've got some other stuff I got to bring on my carry-on, so that to have to bring some lipos and everything, which is probably
So
add to me getting flagged or something.
so Eddie, since there are 2 arrows coming, can I fly one of them in combat?
No,
Damn it!
but I have foam board, and we
I'll-
have time to build whatever you want to fly in combat. And
I
if
will.
you might want to go to the hardware store and buy some Coroplast and make a Coroplast Bloody Wonder, go ahead.
Well, that's out of hand. I'd have to buy contact cement and a torch to.
You
Yeah,
don't
no.
need contacts, dude. You're coming to my house. I have everything you need. Just saying.
Okay, but no, I just want to build something quick and simple. I'll bring a motor and ESC, and I'll use your battery, and then I'll get to fly in a combat,
Absolutely.
which I've never done ever.
Because I will actually have an extra. Andre won't like it, but I'll have an extra Spectrum radio.
I don't care. I'll fly anything. You know that.
Yeah, I'll have my DX6, Wendy's DX6, and my my FR Sky.
Cool.
So we'll have anything we need.
Yeah, why don't you do me a favor, Eddie, and go scout out some places to FPV offsite?
Oh, that's easy. Oh yeah, I'll be taking my Mavic too.
No.
There's lots of land in Texas, man.
Yeah, there's
Lots of land.
Yes.
Lots of uninhabited land.
You know what I'm talking about, though. Some nice trees and
It's everywhere, dude.
yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there's Mike. There's tons of places, so we should be able to find some easy stuff.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to fly on site with my FPV stuff because I can't lower.
Because you're running 600 milliwatts.
No, I'm not running that high of milliwatts, but I can't change my channels because I didn't put smart audio on. So I can't change. So I need to rebuild, and I just ain't been home enough to do it.
Yeah, or if you weren't running Spectrum, you could, get the updated FR Sky firmware and then do it from your radio.
Yeah, well, without smart audio on my Spectrum, I can't. So.
Yep. I'm in the same boat. I haven't updated my radio to do that either.
So that allows you to transmit back to the receive, like the basically go up channel back to the quad itself and change
the channels
So you can
and
change
the power.
VTX and the power in the VTX.
That's kind of cool.
So it's really nice. None of mine have. Well, one of them has tramp. My little 150 Vortex, I can change channels and power and everything, so I can fly that. Because I'm guessing that multi GP is going to be there.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, I think that.
Yeah, I think they're going to run some races or something down there. Yeah.
They'll manage the FPV, so.
Yeah, so I'll have to go off site to go fly.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal.
No, and that's the funny thing. I mean, in all the years for FliteFest, I've never flown FPV at one of the events just because it's too much effort, and who wants to get shot down and crash your airplane by accident, right?
Exactly.
So, but I mean, I got out last weekend, and that was the first time I'd flown in weeks, and I flew tons of FPV. I burned off a ton of batteries between the little Sky Hunter and the Tomahawk, and it was just like, oh yeah, it was good. So, that was needed.
Well, I'm just wanting to go fly some quad somewhere.
Yeah.
We will find you some spots, and I mean, heck, this year was the first year that I flew anything FPV at Fury Field, and that was on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Before we left.
Yeah.
Right.
Burn back and forth. You run Fury Field's funny because I've flown line of sight and I've flown FPV and like you realize after a while it's a nice stretch when you're all the way out the one end. You're like, I should really turn back now,
Yep.
I remember the year I ran the EFX Racer out there, and I'd run my battery out before Wayne had even got the camera ready to take a photo of it. It's like, wow, I should turn around before I spec out and wow, back down the other side. And you're like, wow, this is a lot of real estate that you can burn through quickly.
Yeah, really quickly.
It's gonna be interesting to see too. I found like every community we've gone to, whenever we've done these go away flights and everything, everybody seems to have their different little favorite airplane for these environments. So it's gonna be curious. I'm almost wondering if we're gonna see more high wing style airplanes out in this venue. I don't know. It's always interesting to see and just see how many builders there are too in the tents.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a plane that I see a foam plane that I see a lot of down here is Rare Bears.
Oh yeah,
really,
dude. People they'll hop them things up. They are so ridiculously fast. And then a lot of the racers,
yeah,
they've run those, but those things are ridiculous. And then outside of that, you'll see warbirds. Probably see a lot of warbirds.
That's true. Well, it's going to be interesting because I don't know how big the flight test community is in this environment. So yeah, it's going to be rather interesting. You're going to see a lot of flight test planes, or you're going to start seeing more ARFs and so forth.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that I talked to a couple guys recently, and they're some FPV wing guys, and they're planning on bringing a lot out to hopefully get some FPV wing races going.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
That's one of the things I really need to get my hands on, or not hands on, but I really got to get my time in and finish off those wings. I've got so many beautiful wings I would love to fly.
Well, we'll see if we can't hook you up with some, maybe even a fast FPV wing.
I can handle that. I love flying those things. The little Tomahawk on 4S is just such a treat, and we were bouncing around in the wind. I was trying to line up and go through the goalposts and everything at the football field, and I just couldn't. It was so squirrely in the wind that I just couldn't commit to a clean run. Just being rocked. But we did get Luis up for his very first FPV flight.
Oh, nice.
Really? Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was awesome. So I think he had one of those S800 wings. So the only issue he ran into, so I launched him, and he's flying, and I've got my goggles. I'm doing line of sight, and I'm watching his goggles. And the first thing I noticed was his camera was jacked up. So he's like, hold on, I'm gonna put the nose down a tiny bit to get the line of sight. And he must have dove. I'm like, pull up. And he was 10 feet off the deck. And to his point of view, it wasn't bad. But I was like, no.
He had it mounted like it was on a quad.
And it was like, okay, so we tweaked that. He reported back he's gone. He's had his own successful flight with it now. But it was it was great to get him going. And I was like, okay, we're gonna get you around. We'll fly you in. And I think it was an older kit that he put in, so the lens, the width on the lens, wasn't. It must have been pretty zoomed in, so like some of those older FPV cameras. So if he gets a wider angle lens, he'll be good. Because I run on my Sky Hunter, I run this super wide one, so you can just see the nose and everything, and I'm floating around with that thing in the wind.
You can almost see wingtip to wingtip.
Yeah, it's got a really good view, and then I'm running. What do I got? I got my run cam split inside the Tomahawk, and that and a nice quantum transmitter, a 600 milliwatt or something like that. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous single.
Look at what my wife bought me. Run cam split.
Oh,
nice.
And while I was down at Rampage,
I
got the Cadix turtle.
Oh yes. So is that the micro version, or is that the micro?
This is the man. It's pretty small. But this is the HD one as well, like the split.
Nice.
And this is it for it. I mean, it's one board.
Yeah, see?
And it's really small.
Look at that.
So I can't wait to put this on something. I'm not sure if I want to put this one on my Acrobrat, or if I'm going to put the Run Cam Split 2, the Split Mini, on the Acrobrat. I'm not sure yet. But,
I don't know why Run Cam and these guys haven't just come along and said, yeah, we're going to start putting in a transmitter on all these things as well, and just make it a complete package.
Yeah, they need to do something. but
It's funny because I remember years ago talking with David Vindestal, and we were all like, "Oh, we're so anti, putting everything into one piece of kit because if it goes out, that's a lot." And now it's just getting to the point now where it's like, yeah, it's a $25 board, and it's got your OSD, your HD recorder, and your 600 milliwatt multi-spectrum transmitter. It's like
exactly.
And it's what, $60?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
but things were a lot more expensive then too.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying this is where it's gone. Like all of a sudden, it is. My problem with the split and all this stuff is like, I'm almost terrified to buy one because I don't want to like fix it into one aircraft. I want to be able to move it around, and I haven't got to that point, but I'm still rocking some of my other cameras, for my video acquisition.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want to fly everything without a GoPro anymore. I just don't do that.
Yeah,
and I was watching one guy that bought his first GoPro 7 because he smashed his
6.
he smashed his 5S, or the 5 session, and so he bought a GoPro 7, put it on his quad, and he's already broke 7 of them.
Flying hard.
Best Buy warranty?
Hitting small branches, and they quit working.
Oh, wow. So they knock the internals and poof.
Yep.
Oh.
And he's already traded it in 7 times.
Oh, wow.
And he hadn't really even crashed it hard yet. And he's like, I'm not fond of these.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. I picked up a 5, but I haven't even shot a video with it yet. You like the sessions?
Yes, and they should have never stopped making these. These things are tough as boot leather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mine has got a couple of good dents from hitting a goalpost.
Oh yeah. Where's my other one? Oh, it's still on the quad. No,
I had the little glass lens protector on it, and it shattered it, but it did not hurt the camera itself, except put a dent in it.
Wow. That's awesome.
And
there's my other one. Yeah, this is the 4, and I've crashed it numerous times, and this is the 5, and now I can't do anything with the 5. I don't know if you can see that dent right there. Here, let me try to.
Oh yeah, that's a little punch.
Maybe. Yeah, there's a dent in it. I hit a metal light pole, and now whatever the settings are on it, that's kind of where it's stuck. But it looks good, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. As long as you had the settings where you wanted them, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks good, so I'm like, whatever. It still records and does everything I want it to do, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, and then I'm rocking one of these little mini transmitters and a Runcam. What is this one? Swift Mini.
The Swift Mini, yep.
Yeah, for my Defiant wing, because it's just the right size. Or is that going into? That might be going into my Apex 2. I've got a bunch of little ones it's we popped them off and we ran those on the RC trucks and stuff like that. I've got an Owl Plus that's really good for night flying, which is something I want to do. I want to get a nice, probably like even the Micro Sky Hunter or something like that, something light that I can slow and just fly at night. Because
that is. Have you flown at night with it yet, Andre?
Which one?
The Owl Plus.
We did some RC truck driving and it was awesome.
I actually took my quad with an Owl Plus up in this when I first moved here into this open field we were flying all the time, and I put my GoPro on, turned it on. I'm like, oh yeah, this will be cool. I could see everything with the Owl. The video with the GoPro, you could see the street lights, and it was all black.
Yeah.
Wow.
I picked up those little LEDs, those circle LEDs from that one guy that was selling all those accessories, and I'm like, yeah, just put them on the front of the plane and just like illuminate everything, and it switches over to night vision. It's like the black and white, and it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, I've got a Fox here.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the. God, I can't even read it. It's so small. Anyway, one of the really super small Fox ears, and then here's a Runcam Mini Swift too.
Holy moly! Look at that. Yeah,
look at the size difference of those.
I know, and it's not like the Mini Swifts are slouches as far as size.
No.
You're like, wow.
And this little new Fox ear is a little bitty thing.
Yeah, but the lens is the same, so they're just making the cases smaller and smaller. There's a bunch with no case.
Oh, this is the Fox ear Micro. That's the one. This one is.
So Ben, you ever got on a podcast and like they start talking about stuff and you're just like, I got because that's where I'm at right now, buddy.
Pat, just wait till
I
you
got
get
some
here.
cameras, but they're over there, and it's kind of all it's a mess.
Hey, I've got
Dude,
this. I put this together to stick on the nose of my storage so I could shoot touch and goes.
Nice.
There you
It's
go.
got a little.
There you
It's
go.
got a
Hey,
little
man.
battery holder in the back. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
all you have to do. It's funny because I honestly I go in waves with FPV where it's like, okay, I can't invest anymore in this stuff because I don't do it enough, and then I go flying and go, why am I not doing this more often? And the little small planes that you can slow right down and just enjoy the environment. You don't, I've got my spotter with me. I think that's the biggest problem for flying FPV is I hate imposing on someone to be my spotter. Because that person wants to go flying too, and they have to stand there for 5 minutes while I putz around, right?
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I can say. The dart that we picked up at FliteFest has been great for. It is so docile, and even with the little flight controller in it, I mean, you can just turn it on and go, and it flies so slow. It's a really comfortable, just kick back and relax FPV flyer, and I'm getting. With a 1300, I'm getting 7 to 10 minutes out of it just putting around.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling with the Sky Hunter. It's just I've taken my hands off the control to adjust my goggles, and the guys are like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Hold on, the plane's acting. The plane's fine, and my goggles are funny. I'm like, I got to turn my fan on. My hands are off the remote, and it's just kind of like, yep." So no flight control or nothing. Yeah, I remember the what was the one I tested there? The football looking one. Not the dart was the bigger one. Anyhow,
the goblin.
The goblin. No, it's the dart's bigger brother. Anyhow, the thing was like flying a football. Because the front end of it is so big. There's so much surface area that even with like wide open with a decent 2200 3S pack, I just couldn't get the penetration. And you're flying and you can feel the aircraft just kind of getting buffeted around the wind. So it's a very similar experience to it's a very similar experience to flying like the micro on a 3S 800 in the wind. You're just kind of like you start getting vertigo in your goggles because the plane is just being just buffeted. And you're like, oh, so yeah. Let's talk about EDFs.
Luis just showed up. He goes, "Who said you guys could start already?" It's like good thing we did, so we can get what we have to say about him out of the way.
That's right.
Which EDFs do you want to talk about?
Well, I have to give props to Ben for just making me want to build really big jets with EDFs.
No
again,
kidding.
I saw that, and the first thing I blurted out of my mouth was, I have 2 4S 70 mils and 3S 64 mils. I'm going to have to build something really big and stupid. And as long as I can put landing gear on it and land on my field, it's game on, right? Because I'm like, I love that, Just a big, silly airplane. I was going to do a 4 motor, but now I'm 4 prop job. I'm like, no, I got to put EDFs on this and try this.
Yeah, I've been looking at like the F-16, and I've got the F-16 and the F-4 were the kits that I got cut out.
Mm.
And Ben and I were talking recently, and he was like, "What do you want to do, 4S or 6S?" And I'm like, I got 6S packs. Let's go 6S.
Let's go. Yeah.
So he told me the EDFs to get. So I'm like, oh God, this whole not having a job thing is making it really hard not to spend money because I really want these EDFs.
Yeah, and Wendy just got on, so you're in trouble now.
I don't know. No.
I've got a nice 4S 70 mil 12 blade waiting to go into Ben's kit as soon as I have some build time, and I've got some nice servos and everything. So that plane will be beautiful, and I suspect if I can, it's white foam board, so if I can coat it up and do the belly up and everything, it'll probably fly into the winter really nicely. I just got to really flyer in those landings so I don't bring in too much snow into the intake.
You need to get a skin kit for it.
Yeah,
that'll be a good motor for that. That's the perfect motor for that.
Yeah, because the 6 blades were cheap, and that's what's going to go into my replacement A10 design that I want to do.
The Pringles A10.
Yes, but the 70 mils are larger, so he's going to be a better aircraft. But for now, I think those 4 motors are going to go into something that'll make Ben smile as well. And then
was a B-58?
Yeah,
Make a Hustler.
Something.
Ooh, that's a good
nice. I know
That
how
would
much
be
I can
cool.
put into the car. So, and then I got to work up the courage. Well, actually, I don't have to work up the courage. The weather, the winds have been so bad that FMS A10 is just sitting there waiting for me.
Yep.
You can fly that in the wind. Those things fly amazing.
Oh, I
No.
know, but who wants to mate in an airplane? Well,
Ship
actually-
it to Texas. I'll maiden it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Send it to Pennsylvania, dude. Come
Yeah.
on.
I've got this nice 700-foot paved runway.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, how big is that? The FMS one?
1,500 mil. So it's hefty. I was impressed. I mean, it sits there, and I can fit the FlexJet in the car. I can't fit the FMS A10 into the car, so I've had to build a little cradle for it and everything, so I can take the wings apart. I actually ordered spare wing screws because they don't. That's the one thing I really like the build on it, but they don't give you extra wing screws, and you have to take the wings off to get it into a car. So I'm like, So that'll come. That'll come.
When it's windy in your area, is it windy or is it also turbulent?
It was pretty, like the gusts, and we were being buffeted around pretty good last weekend when we were flying, and it was a crosswind. So
if you can't do anything about the direction, then that's frustrating. I actually prefer to maiden in a wind because at least I can. Well, usually it's a hand launch, but at least I can throw it into the wind, and it gets me a few extra knots of stall speed.
Absolutely.
Speaking of maidening, you flew a new build of yours not too long ago, Ben.
I did last weekend, and you can maybe see the wing in the background.
Yep.
Actually, and I just I just put color on it. I just painted it today because I wasn't doing anything else.
Nice. The buff.
So there you go.
There you
Look
go.
at that. Look
that
at
thing is huge.
Yeah, it's the best part about it. 7-foot span, and it's like 7 feet long. It's basically a 7-foot square, and it weighs ready to fly with flight battery in it. It weighs 4 pounds 13 ounces.
Oh my goodness!
How many sheets of foam board?
13.
Hey, that's bad.
Okay.
That's not
That's
bad.
not bad.
So
Yeah,
let's see.
actually,
It's
it
looks bucks. That's $6 a board.
It looks $6 a good grief. Canada's rough.
Yeah, that's why my stuff is my phone board.
Yeah. It looks like a really straightforward build, Ben. Like the C-17 was a work of art. Not saying that your B-52 isn't, but it's
the C-17 is another category that
altogether.
I was off the deep end. I mean, I was also at that time still learning like how I wanted to build stuff for myself and how to really create new things. But on this one, I mean, the B-52 is blocky already, so it sort of made it easier for me to mentally just ignore some of the curvy details.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's the wing hatch. If you can see down inside, like,
nice.
Just a big square.
Yeah.
These are paint sticks that I've glued on, and then that's my wing tie-down strap.
Oh wow! So you
Nice.
just like Velcro that sucker down.
Yeah, you set the wing on here, and then this goes over the top, and this is an old Aloft Hobbies battery strap.
Great.
I just strap that around, and the wings are, I mean, they're huge, but they're flat bottom fold over,
Yeah.
So it's just
So much of it that
two
you've got left, yeah.
foam spars down the wing, and it has, I'll show you here. So it's got aluminum tubes
Mm-hmm.
that go perpendicular in, so that just joins the center line. So I put 3 carbon tubes in there, and that joins the wing halves together.
Nice.
But other than that, I mean, that's it. Everything else is foam. And and the thing that I kind of you would forget about, and this build really helped me like get it back in my head, is when you want to reinforce something, you're making it heavier, which is adding to the mass of the airplane, which is adding to the forces involved, which is requiring it to be stronger.
Yeah.
But if you can build light and smart from the beginning, then all the masses are less and the forces are less, and then it doesn't rip itself apart because it's lightweight. So,
and what are you flying that on 8 EDFs?
So kind of. I mean, they're kind of. I would call them EDPs, like they're ducted props. I mean, at what point does it just become a ducted fan? Because it's
right.
So what this is though is
okay.
Those are 1106 turbo gremlin motors.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 8 of them. So it's basically that B-52 is being powered by 2 turbo gremlins.
Right.
That's awesome. The 1106 motor.
That's nuts, man.
They're 1106 4500 kV motors, and here to prove it to you, there's the ESCs.
Oh, that's nuts.
That's awesome, dude.
20 amp?
So there's four. Those are the 12 amp bullets.
Wow. That's great, dude.
So there's 4 on that wing, and if you can see poking out of the side of the nacelle here. Can you see the wires coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Those are servo extension wires. They're HD. They're like the heavier duty.
And you're using those for the ESCs.
That's my Those are my motor wires.
Wow.
So
dude, that's cool as heck.
So out of the 12 amp bullets, I soldered on servo extension wires, and I just ran servo extensions down the wing for the motors. And
okay.
So your overall costs are a fraction of what you would have had to put out. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
And
it's got 7-foot wingspan?
Yeah, the currents for each motor is pulling maybe 5 amps. So,
good God.
5 amps divided by 3 per wire. An HD servo wire is more than enough gauge to handle that current.
And you did that because it was lighter than running thicker wire from each ESC back to your battery lead, correct?
Yeah. I kind of did a trade because you can, when you have to have your motor far away from your battery, the ESC has to go somewhere in the middle. You can either put it close to the motor and have long battery leads, or close to the battery and have long motor leads. And from what I've researched and from what I've read, it's better to put your ESC closer to the battery, have shorter power leads, and extend the motor wires, because each one is carrying less current per wire.
Oh, okay.
And so it's less strain on each wire. You can go to a lower gauge, so you can have a lighter weight extension. And also the voltage variance coming out of the battery into the ESC is lower. The impedance, noise, you're less apt to fry an ESC the shorter the power leads are. So,
are the runs to each motor the same length of wire, so you can keep a bit of a balance there, or did you just make them as you went?
Yes. Overall, no. Actually, so the 2 in each pod, they're the same. Okay. So the runs to these 2 motors are the same.
Yeah.
And the runs to these 2 motors are the same.
Okay.
But these 2 are longer than these 2. I didn't put in extra wire just to make them all the same.
Okay, that's
yes. As long as you're balanced symmetrically.
Yeah, and
with the wire resistance
right and left. I've done that in the past. Like I did that on the C-17. Those had all the same motor lengths or wire lengths on all the motors, and obviously on the Valkyrie, all of those were the same as well.
Yeah.
But that's actually the Valkyrie is where I learned most of that. Where do you put the ESC ideas? Because that one had to have the motors way at the back end, and the ESC and the batteries had to go way up in the neck, like 4 feet away.
Yeah.
And so the ESCs are way up in the front, and I've got like 3.5 foot of 14 gauge silicone wire
all the way to the back.
3 strands times 6 wires times 4 feet. That's a lot of wire.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wire.
Are you running multiple battery packs, and did you split them off, like the two internal sets on one pack and then the 2 others, so a little bit of redundancy in power?
No, on this one it's all paralleled right down to 1.
Okay. Big old
and it
4S.
runs off of one 3000 4-cell.
Oh my God!
Oh, good grief!
I need a turbo gremlin now.
And that flies for about 4 or 5 minutes.
So it's a real floater.
It is. Well, yeah. I mean, it's true to form. The real B-52 is a giant glider.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, 4S, 4S, 4S.
I mean, the fact that they're still flying, the real ones are still flying today, and they're projected to keep flying into 2050, which would be 100-year service.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yep. Just avionics updates, hey?
They still. I mean, this is a 1950s entry into service, which means the design is older than that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it still has a better cruise L over D than some airliners today.
That's nuts.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Update the avionics, update the motor package. The fuselage is a proven workhorse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think actually I might fly it tomorrow at the same place now that I've painted it. But tomorrow I think I'm going to try and fly it on one of the bigger, the 5,000 milliamp batteries that I have from the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
So that'll probably putz around for a good 10 minutes.
Cool. So that'd be great.
Did you lose by going to these turbo gremlin motors? Did you lose some of that EDF sound?
Yeah, but there's also, I don't think it's due to the motor specifically, because I'm also only running it. Also, they're only turning a 4-blade propeller.
Okay, that's
which is
true.
why you wouldn't really call it a ducted fan. But there are, then again, there's ducted fans out there that are 3-blade EDFs.
That must sound terrible.
There's older ones, but you don't have, the more blades you have, the more you get the air whoosh jet noise, and you get more of that. On the other hand, when you put all 8 of these things spinning together, I've got many comments on the video from people who have worked on them, flown them, seen them in real life. They're like, "Holy crap, that sounds like the real thing flying overhead." Because there's the jet whoosh part of the sound that you want to get, but there's also a turbine whine that that has a balance. And I don't know. I mean,
either way,
for something like this, I wasn't concerned about the sound. I had all of these little 1106 motors, and I didn't want to build another quad. And so I asked one of the guys at work, "Hey, what should I build that has lots of motors?" And he said, "Obviously a B-52.
Oh man!
And so we started. It's just funny. I'm like, okay, the motor's this big. So if I get the smallest prop that I can find, then maybe the model will be like this big, right? In my head, I'm just kind of trying to run numbers, and I'm thinking, I can actually build something small and have some fun with it. And so then I run the math on scaling from just the engine diameter of a B-52. I looked up that. I looked up, I picked a 1.9-inch propeller, and I did the scale, and I did the wingspan, and I thought, and the number came out on my calculator. I thought, that's a 7-foot wingspan. What the heck? But I mean, that's how I was hooked. I had to do it.
What would 7,500 kV motors do?
I don't know. Just go faster.
Well, I'm just kind of curious about it because Emax does have 500 kV 1106s.
That's for the B-58.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you want to put that? I don't know. I had a bunch of the 4500s, so that's what I went with. But I wanted the lower kV because I knew I wanted to use 4S. Okay. I don't think I'd want to run the 75s on 4S or even 3S. I mean, maybe 3S, but I don't know.
Well, and
I'd be worried about heat.
You're going for torque, right? That airplane isn't a speed demon. You want that thrust, so when you say I gotta pull up, it pulls up. So that's crazy, man. I had no idea that you'd run that on. I thought there were like little EDFs when you first started talking about this.
Yeah, I thought I had heard something about ducted props or something on that, and I'm like, I just kind of, I don't know. I thought to myself, I must have heard it wrong.
I got tired of messing around with my printer, so I traded it away.
And 3D printer?
Yeah.
3D printer. And so I begged Nicholas Simpson to help me print. So he printed 20 of these ducks for me.
Oh wow, cool.
This is it. That's that right there.
Nick.
Oh
All
man,
right.
So
That is cool, dude.
that's got one of the motors in there, and it's just screwed into the back. So it prints just like that on your bed.
yeah,
That's it.
that's phenomenal.
And then I wrapped that in a foam board cowl, and then it's got a paper cone, and that makes the engine nacelle.
What's your inlet to outlet diameter? Are you still using like an EDF, or are you keeping it 100%, or what are you doing?
The inlet is straight, so the inlet's 100%, but the exhaust is it necks down a little bit, maybe to 85%.
So about the same as that you would with an EDF.
Yeah, I think these actually might be a little bit bigger than what I usually do on my jets.
Okay.
Because the runs are short, and these are very low power motors, so the more you close down the nozzle exhaust, the more power you need to
static
requiring from the motor. So I didn't want to pinch the fan, as they say, on this guy. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the thing.
That's awesome.
That is
really cool, dude.
And then here, let me show you the landing gear. The landing gear flew off on the second flight.
That's when the wheel come rolling down the runway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one I had to repair. But so here, this is one you can see. They're just pinned on.
Oh yeah. Yep.
With good old barbecue skewers.
Yep.
Nice.
And actually, I even used a barbecue skewer for the axle.
For the axle.
That's awesome.
Gotta save weight.
Well, darn it, man, I'm inspired.
So.
Yeah, dude, you do some cool stuff. I love watching your builds.
It's fun.
Just awesome.
Well, that's awesome that two turbo gremlins can power a 7-foot wingspan airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I was flying it around in the pattern mostly at like 1/2 to 3/4 throttle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was not required. I mean, I got obviously full throttle for takeoff, but I mean, most of the cruising around the pattern was at part throttle. So it was, well balanced.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you're a Boeing engineer, you can do that stuff.
Yeah.
Believe me, this has nothing to do with what I do at work.
Oh, I know, but dude, it is so cool to watch your stuff. It really is.
Yeah.
It is very inspiring, like André said.
I try. Hey, and I get plenty of crazy ideas from other people in the community and run with it.
Cool.
Keegan, I mean, you guys have probably seen the chat, and I won't talk about it too much, but I may or may not be taking this to another extreme in the future.
Uh-oh.
You with extremes on planes? Come on now. We know better.
Oh, you know something we need to do that we haven't done?
Tell me.
We need to wish Dan Cruz a happy birthday because today is his birthday.
Yes.
That's right. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Dan.
Dan Cruz.
I don't think he's watching, but
Yeah, I think he's they said they were going up through North Texas to come down to FliteFest, so I know he's on the road or was on the road this morning.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see him and Nancy. It was another person that was sorely missed at Ohio this year.
Yeah. The irony is, it's funny because it popped up on my Facebook, and I wrote "Happy birthday, see you in a week," and then I looked, and it was the same darn message from last year, and I'm like, "That's funny."
Oh, that's funny. Oh, wow.
That's funny.
Because he was there, and so hopefully he brings a DLG. That'd be cool.
Finn says he's got a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat.
Meters.
I was going to say, Cruise without a DLG? No, that ain't
Well, I laughed last year because him and Finn were in the middle of, they were basically in the middle of fly zone. We're just whipping around with their DLGs. Myself and Nick are having a fit because in Florida we had a hard line because there was actually, an active runway. So we were sitting there and the planes are whipping around and I'm just like, oh, geez. Dan and Finn are gonna like eat a plane from somebody, and just why do you have to fly there? But it turned out okay. But it was just fun to watch those two guys, and man, they can DLG like a charm. So
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see everybody. I haven't seen anybody in a
good.
while, so
It's gonna be good.
Yep, it's definitely gonna be a
wait.
nice experience, and we'll have some fun and get into some mischief as usual.
No, not us.
Us?
No.
no,
No.
way. But so Eddie, what time are you guys going to show up in Texas? Well, I know you're already in.
Well, right now.
When are you showing up in Rockdale, Texas?
The plan is now. Pat flies in Monday. Wendy's gonna work in the office on Monday, and when he lands, she's gonna leave work, pick him up, and then depending on weather. If weather's really nice, Pat and I may, as soon as he gets here, run off to my airfield and go fly.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, I'm gonna take him out Tuesday and let him fly a gas powered airplane so he'll quit crying.
Yeah, he might have said something to me about that.
And then I'm trying to get a couple of my turbine guys to come out on Tuesday because I would love to let Pat see that.
Oh, you're killing me.
Nice.
Hey, you know what, Andre? I've told you.
I
more
know.
than once.
I know. I wish it can come in sooner, but that's the way it goes.
And I could even probably talk a guy into buddy boxing you on a turbine.
Oh,
but
kidding me?
not you, Andre, because he's not going to be here.
Yeah, it's always easy to attempt to talk somebody into something like that when you know they're not going to be there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But then I think with that we'll come in. We'll fly Tuesday for the day, and then we'll get up, have breakfast, everything, and then probably head that direction.
Cool.
Get there a little early, that way we can get a feel for where everything's at.
Yeah.
Find all the stores, gas stations, and all that. Because I'm gonna probably take the gas for the generator and all that. It'll probably be gas cans will be empty, so I have to make sure we got fuel and all that.
About an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from you.
93 miles.
That's 2 hour and a half with traffic.
We're in traffic. No, dude, we're going north, so we're going away from the traffic. So I figure about an hour 15 or so.
Really?
If I drive like Wendy, 45 minutes.
Oh,
oh, good. She's not behind me anymore, so I'm safe.
No, you didn't. I think she's watching.
She just hollered from the other room. I heard you.
Yeah, she's watching.
But yeah, so we should be there on Halloween, probably depending on how long Pat sleeps, before noon.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to pick me up from the airport?
If Austin wants to hook me up with some gas, I might be able to make that happen.
All right. We'll figure it out.
Because I'm expensive. $4 a mile. I mean, yeah. In the broken sea duck.
Look at that poor sea duck.
What? Who did that to your airplane, Andre?
Lewis ended the duck in authority, man. Look at this poor thing. I was laughing so hard. The poor guy, he was trying everything he had to save it. It was just the wind had her. Wow. And oh man, it went in, and I'm laughing so hard. He's like, I think I can take off. I'm like, not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, there's a prop, all four props broke off. One shot through the side of the fuse right here. And like it if the battery hadn't moved, it would have probably speared my 4S pack.
So did anything as far as like prop shafts or anything, any of it bend?
I don't think so. No, I think those were the HQ props. The motor feels good. So all these parts, I've had this plane for a while. A lot of people were really upset when they saw this. I'm like, you know what? I've had this thing 3 FliteFests, 4 winters. I mean, it's the wings were getting good and soft. Anybody who owns a Sea Duck knows eventually that those wing points start to get a little flexy, and I flew this thing hard. Yeah. Flat spins, like just right to the deck and pulled out. But I'm ready to use all the equipment in my Legend plane, so that's why I wasn't too busted up. It was hilarious. It was just, it came down and like, this wing was like a good 20 feet away. So it's separated good. I wish I had an onboard camera on it because it probably would have been impressive. I mean, we laughed so hard, and so it was a good flying time. But I mean, good way to end a plane. If you're going to end a flight test plane, you end it good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that one served me well. That was one of the first. I think I was a prototype. The Josh passed me. And he says, "Here, let me know how long it takes to build it." I came back to him like 6 hours, dude. 6 hours of building. It's a solid build.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot to it. It looks
yeah.
like.
Yeah, but it's a phenomenal plane. My biggest problem with that plane, and to get it into my car, I have to load it upside down and in the back seat. It won't fit in the trunk. And every time we took it down to FliteFest, Martin was like, "I spend the entire trip looking at your sea duct through the back window of my car." And we had some we had some good flights with it. Eddie's seen it go at FliteFest, so and then there was the first year I went to fly and my radio died, so So it's it served well. But I'm looking forward to sitting down and building my Legends before it snows as well. Because that'll be a nice winter plane, and the wing comes off for transport and storage, which is good.
Yep.
You gonna put skis on it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got some extra Durafly ski sets kicking around, so
Cool. That's awesome.
I'll be putting skis on a bunch of planes very soon, I think. So
what motors do you have in that you're putting on the Legacy plane?
That's a CPAC.
The CPAC. Okay, the G whatever 15 or whatever they are.
Yeah, something like that with 945 HQs. So I will run her on 4S because and I have 40 amp ESCs in there. So that was the only reason you can't. The one tip I will give you if you do run this thing on 4S and you're doing any kind of flat spins, always check your props, your prop nuts. I spun a prop off on the sea duct, and it's got a whole lot of float, and I was able to bring it in. I don't know if you did that on the Legend, if the plane would end as well.
Gotcha.
Certainly not on the one I built.
No, it ended hard?
No, I built mine very heavy, so if I lost a motor, it would not float very long.
She's going in like a lead duck, yeah, a lead brick. Okay, yeah. I probably reinforce a lot of the stuff. I tend to fly them hard. I don't know. I could rebuild this one and give Ryan Papp a heart attack. It was funny before this happened, though. I was looking at this thing, going, "I wonder if I could EDF a sea duck."
Oh, sure you could.
That would be hilarious.
It just need to be some big EDFs.
4S 70s. Come on.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
Do it. Just put them right on top, flatten out the cowl and everything. Actually take the cowl right off and just put them right on there.
Yeah, because that plane is unusually light.
Oh, it's such a glider. It was like I would shut the thing off and just glide around in the wind, It was just, you go and and you get there, and we were Lewis and I were wind matching it. It's just kind of like I'm coming in and you're so slow and you're bouncing around. He was taking photos of the thing as the wind is, and of course you have no rudder control, right? So you're like, okay, if I say duck, it's because I'm coming in. And then of course, you put that thing on differential thrust 100%. And I used to take that thing out to the park, and the kids would watch that thing come down and thought it was crashing, right? Because I'm just coming 10 feet off the deck, just and go, the only stunt I didn't pull off, and I was going to try and do it this winter, was actually to flat spin into some really soft snow and just land down. But I never got to it.
It's all Lewis's fault.
Yeah.
Just tape it up, dude. Go.
I looked at it and said, I could glue this thing back together. You punch out the nose and actually no.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty.
It's dead.
That nose.
It's really and truly dead.
It's light enough. You could reinforce it with hot glue. It'd be okay.
Oh, I just put a couple sheets. Look, the duck has got plenty in it. Like you could reinforce that whole front end and bring it back together and everything. But I'll paint the Legend in the same scheme. That way, its tradition carries on with the rondelles and everything.
Just don't let Lewis fly it.
Yeah, I'll let him fly in. He was doing great. I was, like I said, we did our FPV. He had his Goblin out, and he was running that thing on 4S.
Oh, he's got a Goblin. I'm so jealous.
He built up a Goblin. He was running on 4S 2200s. I'm like, wow, this thing can take some weight. And he had a what was it? It was a T motor, I think an F80. When he'd been playing around, he actually told me he got a watt meter and was actually doing trying to do some prop tests just to get the efficiency just right. So that was impressive because I had been running my two other airplanes on 7 and 5-inch blades, and he's like, you should try some tri blades on those and get a little bit more efficiency. And I'm like, I think I will. So punch up the power, punch up the amps, and so the ESCs to like 20 amps and see what I can get away with versus those little 10s or 12s.
I don't know that I've got anything still running on a 12 amp ESC.
Well, when I built up some of these, I've got so many 2204 motors, and I just had these 12 amp, and it's the one in the little Sky Hunter, it stutters on startup, so it's like and then it catches, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta really change that ESC out. It's terrible. But I mean, once it gets going, you're fine. But it's like that initial startup, it's like it just doesn't want to turn over.
I had that problem with my Radiant.
A little finger flick start.
Yeah. I'll just get my finger in.
With my Radiant, I have to pump the throttle, and then once it gets going, it's good. But I got to pump it. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just, and I think it's just a cheap Banggood. One of the cheap ESCs I bought for like $10. I was going to put them in a quad, and I'm like, it's just sitting there going, no, I was too lazy to take apart one of my old quads, so I just grabbed it and put some stuff into it. But right now on the bench, I think I've got a 20 amp, and I initially had spec'd that airplane out to be sub 250, and I got sick of that project, and I just said, that's it. I'm gonna go and it's no fun flying on those 3S800s. So I'm just gonna stick with the 1300s, and it's a great little FPV ship. So
that's awesome. Lewis said it's an F80 1900 kV with 6 by 4.5 by 3 props.
Hi, Wendy.
Everybody says hi.
Hi, Wendy.
Oh, y'all are going to the store? Have fun, bye. We love you.
I've got one plane that flies on a 12 amp ESC. Oh well, if I'm being honest, it flies on 8 12 amp ESCs.
Yeah. There you go. Just one per motor, so yeah. There you go. Well, I mean, like honestly, your B-52 bang for buck. I mean, that's funny though, because I quickly Googled to see how much those motors are, and even at $13 or $14, you're still at like $110 worth of motors.
But it's a 7-foot wingspan.
But think about it. How much are you going to spend if you want to buy 8 50mm EDFs?
Yeah, what are they? $25,
more.
$30?
And I think it's $30 just for the EDF.
Yeah, and then what?
And then another $20-$30 for a good ESC.
Yeah, but you had them in the Valkyrie, right?
Well, those were 70s.
Oh, so what would that be? That would be like 140 inch wingspan or something.
What's
14 foot?
No, it's not. It's not 2 times. What's 70 over 50? 70 over 50 times 7. That'd be almost a 10-foot wingspan.
Oh, it's not much more.
No, but that instead of weighing under 5 pounds, that would probably
no.
Just right out of the gate.
Yeah, you're into 6X. You know what? When people do crazy builds at FliteFest, this is something I could endorse and say, you know what? I don't have a pucker factor watching this thing fly because, like you said, when it goes down, it's not like that giant nutball or whatever, that Bloody Wonder. That was just gnarly winning because it was flying in 10S or the giant motor that would take someone's head off, right?
Yeah,
so
and it was overpowered so much that it was flying its own elevator off.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
And then, and aside from that, then they had the other team that had the flying wing that did a ground looped itself on takeoff.
Yeah, that flying wing was beautiful though. They just had the CG too far aft.
Yeah.
That thing was gorgeous.
But you know what, Ben? You may have spurred on something where we can say, you know what? It's proven that you can still build a really big, beautiful airplane, but it doesn't have to be like powered off these giant monster motors. So maybe that's something that FliteFest says, hey guys, you may want to consider 1106s, 1306s, and just keep it we've seen that before, and then 20 amp ESCs, and then it's less mass than that's actually a really phenomenally good idea.
It goes right down to the point with the foam board too, because it's all cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you start getting into those big, huge batteries, those big, huge motors, those big, huge ESCs, and they cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they cause big fires in the field, and we have to watch everybody run across the soybeans.
Joshua Orchard was like a freaking gazelle.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Slow motion.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Love you, Joshua. Can't wait to see you again.
I have a 70 millimeter EDF. I need to put in something.
That's for your F-16.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
This
is you know what? With a foam plane, maybe.
That's what I mean. Like the bend.
This was the original out of the this original motor out of the Vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would probably.
I'm sorry. It's a 4-cell.
Oh, it's 4-cell. Okay.
It'd still work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How much does your F-16 weigh, Ben?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. It weighs a little bit more than the A4, so I think it's like 3.5 pounds.
But what's the I should ask, what's the wing loading on it?
Oh, I don't know. It's less than the space shuttle.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. The weird thing about the F-16 versus the A4, it's probably got heavier wing loading because it's got about the same size wing, but it's heavier.
The F-16 has a higher wing loading than the A4?
I think so.
All I'm saying is after trying to hand launch a couple of those A4s and failing miserably, because you've got a beast of a hand launch. You crank your left leg up and you're just like, shoom.
Hey man, it's all about the form.
No, that and he's got to have the tube right or it doesn't fly.
Yeah.
I'm used to hand launching stuff because I've been flying slope since the beginning. That's what I started with. But also I see guys fly launching like a javelin, like you hold it with 2 hands or you hold it behind the CG, and every time I've done that, when you let go with if you're if this is holding your nose and this is holding behind the wing, every time I've done that and I've seen other people do it, this hand lets go and then this hand comes down, which pulls the tail down, which makes you launch vertically, and it just puts your belly right into the air. And that's why I always put my hand under the belly. I basically kind of try and put my hand right under the CG and sort of grip the leading edge of the wing like this in a kind of a pancake motion and fling it that way.
Right. Yeah. You're actually. I
launched the A4 that way, and I launched the F6. And the F-16 is a little bit easier because you can just grab the fuselage right underneath it. But it's.
Watching you hand launch this is really interesting. You do have you've put some thought into how to get them into the air. It's pretty cool. It doesn't help that it doesn't hurt that you're like 6 foot something either.
Yeah.
Some
of us have no idea what that is.
I had no idea what that's like.
There's some really good photos of what was it? It was FliteFest Stefan throwing one of those the A4 push or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm like, yeah, that's no good for an EDF.
No, but and also the F-16, just the form of it is a lot cleaner. It's less boxy the way I laid out the design of it, the folding, the way it folds up. So even though it's a little bit heavier of a flight weight, it's aerodynamically a better airplane, and so that all works together. It just flies a little bit better. Although I've put out an update on my A4 plans, which increases the area of the exhaust nozzle a little bit, and it doesn't suffer on the noise or on the looks at all. And sorry, I keep looking over my computer. It's right behind the computer. The A4 with that a little bit larger nozzle area, it flies almost as good as the F-16. It doesn't do the high alpha like the F-16 does, because it doesn't have the big all moving tails, but it's still it moves around.
That was the whole problem with my MiG-21 was I just constricted the nozzle too much. I need to rebuild that. Yeah, it's sitting right there. It's all crunchy.
Yeah, that was something that I actually took a cue. Again, was the same guy that suggested that I build the B-52. He's a propulsion engineer at work.
Oh, cool.
I asked him, I mean, we're not dealing with gas power, turbines or anything, but I just said, when you're talking about a nozzle flow, what's the best kind of geometry? What would you, suggest for the least amount of losses and the most amount of thrust, basically, because that's what we want to have. And he's the one that suggested that I have from wherever the end of the fan duct from the fan duct, you want to have a constant area tube just straight back until wherever your nozzle is, and then have your nozzle come down right at the very end. So you have the no constriction in the airflow until the very end, when it just necks down to the nozzle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're not back pressuring, because even if I have my nozzle is this long, if I go a constant taper from here down to here over this distance, or if I go a constant diameter and then a short nozzle at the end, that long tapering tube is going to have way more losses, because it's building up a boundary layer inside, and it's basically just scrubbing away pressure.
You're over constricting it,
right?
Just because of the boundary layer.
Yep.
I didn't know that. See, I've always seen the thrust tubes being conical. That's really interesting.
And actually, that's the main difference between the F-16 and the A4. Or my kits is the A4 has an 18-inch long thrust tube that's a constant taper cone from the EDF to the nozzle, and the F-16 has a 10-inch thrust tube that is a constant diameter, and then it has like a 3-inch nozzle at the very end.
Really interesting. Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you have a build video for your F-16?
I unfortunately don't have build videos for anything out.
Okay. I'm only asking because I have a kit sitting over there that Blake Ziegler.
I know it's something that I probably should be better about doing. I just I just don't have time and a really good setup to do it. I mean, by the time I get things wrapped up, I mean, I don't know, 5-year-olds take a lot of time, out of your day.
Well, and then you got to put the camera on the fan blade and like move the table and all the craziness that you did the last time.
That's my build table right there.
Because I remember when we did the Bugatti, you had a camera hanging off your fan.
Yep.
It's a ceiling fan, right?
Yep.
That's great.
Good time.
We need to say hi to Asbjorn as well.
Asbjorn! Yes!
Hey, dude.
We don't get to see the Viking much.
Dude, he needs to get back over here.
He's quiet and he's racing cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like what? He's like competing like nationally now or something. He's like up in the top of the performers in Norway. Something like that, like 7th or something like that. That's crazy.
He got crazy good.
Yeah. Went from building real cars to little RC cars.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that. That's how you make it work.
There you go.
I mean, look at Ben, engineer. Now he just builds all these crazy airplanes that everybody loves.
Had a foam board.
Well, that's not the only. That's not the only place he's built them though.
No,
No.
He is.
Well, you got your hands in something, full scale out there. So
Mhm.
your
Sounds like-
lifting body, flying
Yeah, but
wing,
that's
wide body
that's
thing.
on the computer. We haven't built that yet.
No.
Yet.
What size ESCs you going to use in that one?
Well,
Those 60 amp? I don't know.
Yeah, Pratt and Whitney 100,000 amp.
Right.
Love those 100,000 amp ESCs.
yeah, I can't wait to see the battery for it.
10 megawatt.
Roll that in on the forklift.
That's going to be one of those 1.2 gigawatt things.
Yeah.
1.21 gigawatts.
But so everybody sounds like they're getting kind of tired. Is everybody all
Yeah.
right? Or
I have to open tomorrow, so I have to be
Oh,
up
do
at
you?
6 a.m. Yeah.
You poor
That's
soul.
brutal.
Who are you
Okay.
opening for? What show?
Yeah.
He's going to Tijuana in the morning.
That's right.
Hey, that's my backyard.
Hello, Cleveland.
Try the roast beef.
That's it. We're opening for Spinal Tap tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be, next week is going to be a mad rush for a couple days at work and then a really early morning flight,
Yeah.
What time do you fly out?
6 a.m.
Oh, that's not bad. You only be at the airport, what, like 3:30, 4 o'clock?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the first international hop. At least I'm going U.S. right away versus to Toronto. That's always a disaster. So.
Are you flying direct or you got to change over anywhere?
Oh, I got to change over a few times. I wasn't paying
What?
attention. Oh, yeah. Well, anything I do, man, there are never any direct flights for coming out of Canada.
You live in Ottawa, right?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of a significant city.
Yeah, it's United, but I wasn't paying attention. I got to do an extra hop that I wasn't paying attention to, so it's no big deal. But like I said, I'm gonna be on the ground by like 1:30, so it isn't that bad. It's 6 hours of travel in total, right? So I'm like, meh, whatever.
Well, it was better than Mike. Mike, that one jaunt you had was from, I don't know, like somewhere down south to North Dakota to Atlanta, then maybe to New York, and then back, then to Kansas City, something ridiculous like that.
I do a lot of those. Well, here's the nice thing is flying down to Austin. It's a direct flight. I leave at 6:40. I arrive in Austin at 10:10 in the morning.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I should be at Apache Pass by, I'm figuring 11:30 at the latest because I have to pick up my rental.
Yeah.
car.
Right.
Are you gonna hit your hotel first? Or are you gonna go there first?
No, I'll go to the Apache Pass first.
Cool.
All right.
And I'll
So,
go to my hotel later.
so I know what time we need to be there now.
Well, that's on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. You're coming in
Yeah.
a day later than everybody
Yeah.
else. That's
Yeah,
so
I
not
don't.
cool.
I don't.
He's
well,
normal.
He's normal.
I had to. I
No,
had to
he
take-
is not.
No, I'm far from normal. I'm staying in Hearne, Texas. Hearne.
Okay.
Who?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I don't know. That was the closest Holiday Inn. So,
Cool, guys.
but, yeah,
Well,
yeah. I think we
I-
probably ought to get off of here. Everybody's appears to be tired, and they seem like they're out of stuff to talk about, which is good. Although I will say one more thing. I was in Ohio a couple weeks ago and got to see Mike and Chris.
Yeah.
You guys talked about it on your
Yep.
podcast, so it was good to have an adult beverage with those guys.
Yep.
oh my God.
Cool.
That's always a good time. Those guys are such good dudes.
Oh man, and Mike just makes me laugh so hard.
Oh my God.
That guy.
He is ridiculous. He is
cracks
out
me.
of hand.
He cracks me up so much. But well, Luis, just go ahead and book a trip and come to Texas, and it'll
Yeah.
be,
It's not expensive, Luis.
Oh, he can't come because he got to go to Canada. So sorry about it.
Oh, that's
Stay
right.
up there.
oh, see, he went to Canada in the cold.
I don't care. He got to go hang out with my Canadian friends. So nope, he is completely grounded from Texas.
So Andre, are
Yes,
you
sir.
bringing Martin to Texas?
No, he couldn't fit in my luggage.
Oh man, come on.
No, yeah, that would have been fun.
That would have been fun. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I think officially I might be the only Canadian going to the Texas event this year.
Well, hopefully another Canadian will prove you wrong.
Oh,
Well,
maybe.
Andre, I will bring both of your flags.
Oh yes. Great. Yeah, we'll put them somewhere. We'll put them in the command tent.
There
Did
you
you
go.
find the find the magnetic Canadian
did.
flag I put on your car? Oh,
I did,
cool.
and Martin's is no longer. It's rained so much that Martin's is actually faded color-wise. I stuck it on my compressor because the sticker was so wet that it was coming off, and I didn't want it to be destroyed.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I have to make sure that I find Martin a Texas flag before you.
Oh, actually, yes. Make sure you do that, and I'll bring it home for him that we can
There you
have
go.
it.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I'll probably find one for myself, and yeah,
I'll pick them up at the Home Depot because in Lowe's they sell them there.
excellent.
Lowe's is better, much
Yeah,
better.
You probably buy a soda pop and they probably give you one, you know.
Well, you can get like a one the size of my wall for like $3 because everything's huge here.
Because you buy a 750 mil of Jack Daniels and you get a rifle. So
Yeah. Well, actually, one of my good friends works in Texas, so he's not too far. I don't remember if he's Houston or Austin where he lives, but he's gonna try and make it to the field that weekend just to meet up because we haven't seen each other for at least 2 or 3 years. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
That's awesome.
Cool. Absolutely. I sure look forward to seeing everybody there. That's for sure.
Oh,
All right, is somebody messing with my camera?
Nope, that's you.
That's
Nope.
just,
No, it is completely muting itself. My hands are off. Now it just
Now you're back.
no, but
no.
you're moving around.
What
You know what? Switching between your
What is
laptop
happening here?
camera and your external camera.
What's
Your-
happening
your
here?
USB is overloading.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
It's possible.
Why is it doing that?
I don't know.
It hit you.
There you go.
Look,
Leave it
you
alone.
started talking bad about Home Depot and things went south.
Those orange people, they're a mess.
They're closer to my house by about 50 yards.
Okay.
Somebody was
All right.
messing with my camera.
No.
Mike.
All right, guys. Nope, not at all.
Uh-huh.
I can. I mean,
I
here.
know you can.
There.
You just did. You turned it
I
off.
just did it.
Don't turn them on.
Ah, there it is.
Whoa, this is PG.
So
on.
Mike, the last question I have to ask is: are you going to make a Fat Lewis or Flat Lewis?
Fat Lewis. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. You know what? I should.
Oh, we should totally do
You
that.
know what? There's an idea. I may. Yeah, Luis, you may be in trouble, brother.
We're all gonna have our way with you.
Yeah, not just one, but everybody.
Mm,
Yep. Such a sad, sad day for Lewis.
Mhm.
Poor guy.
Yeah, you could be in some serious trouble, brother.
I asked Josh if I could fly his giant sea duck.
Yeah.
And he said yes.
Yeah, after I posted pictures of mine. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I would love to fly something that scale. That would be amazing to see.
Yeah. It would be great.
Flat spins from hell.
Andre, do
Oh.
you know if that one's bigger than the first one they built?
The one that they did years ago with him and Noah, I think.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's probably the same principle, but this one didn't look like the wing detached.
Oh, so it's a new big one.
It's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's painted up. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, I
because the
saw
old
that.
one, the old one's still in his garage, and the wings are very flappy.
yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, guys. Well, let's go
Yes,
ahead and
sir.
wrap this up.
Uh-huh.
You guys have a good one. For the 3 out of the 4, I will see you guys next week. I wish I was seeing Ben as well.
Yeah.
Me too.
Ben.
Always enjoy seeing Ben. To everyone
Hop on
that's
one of those
listening.
Boeings and get your butt out there, buddy.
Yeah, really.
Pat's got a tent big enough to sleep you.
There you go. But for everybody listening, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For the people that are going to be there, can't wait to see you guys and hang out because I sure missed you in Ohio. For the people that aren't coming, sorry. Wish you would be there. I can't make flat everybody's, but I think Luis is going to get one.
Oh, that poor bastard.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Gives him right.
he started that.
He did.
He started this more.
Oh, man.
But anyway, Andre, Eddie, Ben, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, my pleasure, bud.
No problem.
Yeah, to all the listeners out there, hopefully we will be on this a little more often. We plan on getting Ben back on to talk more about that B-52 and some of the things that he's working on.
Absolutely.
And we've got a couple more guests lined up. Matter of fact, I think we're going to get Keegan Sponholes on here to talk about some of the college aviation stuff that he's dealing with.
Cool.
Hopefully we can get some other people on as well. And again, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, guys. And Pat, what do you got to say?
I just want to say, Eddie, I'll see you in 3 days. Andre, I will see you in 5 days, 4 days. Mike, I'm going to give you a big hug, brother. Ben, I wish you were coming. I really do. You inspire me. You really do. You're an awesome guy, and man, you're talented. And I'm looking forward to the event, the venue, everybody that's going to be there. Hope to meet a bunch of new people there, and hope to see a bunch of old friends as well.
Absolutely. Eddie?
Guys, I can't wait to see you guys, especially Andre. No offense to you guys, but he's got to come from another country. Ben, you're close enough. You should have finagled your wife to let you come down for a day or two.
Hey, it wasn't his fault. Trust me. He was the one that wanted us to go.
Oh, I know, and I hated that you guys couldn't come, but maybe this turns into a big thing and we do this again next year. But I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be a blast.
Absolutely. Ben?
I'm bummed I can't see you guys there. I'm hoping you guys are going to have a great time. It's going to be great weather. Just bring the boots and you won't need them, because that's what happened to me last year.
Yeah.
We almost were able to come, but then, we had a family trip to Europe and then another family trip. My sister just moved to Alabama, so. But I'm thank you guys for all your comments. I love sharing. Everything I do, I don't do it for for the attention. I do it because it's fun, and so if someone else sees something in it, then that's cool too. Hope you guys have a great time. I'm already thinking about Ohio next year. Don't worry.
Woo!
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Andre?
Well, I'm actually really excited about this trip coming up. It's well-timed and a well-deserved getaway from the busy work environment that I have. I'm super excited to work with all these. We've got a new batch of volunteers and a lot of excited people. And again, thank you for having me on. Hey, Ben, it was awesome to do some cross-examination and talk with you about some of your projects. That's fun. And of course, Mike, Pat, and Eddie, thank you for the invite.
Absolutely, man. Wouldn't have not had it without
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah,
And
no
say
problem.
hi.
Absolutely.
Say hi to those 2 amateur guys that you do the podcast with for us.
Yeah. It's funny because I was like, wow, I'm going to be doing 2-hour podcasts and this weekend, but the rest of the weekend looks like the weather's going to be pretty soggy, so I won't mind being indoors chatting.
There you go. Well, again, guys, thanks a lot for being on, and we'll see y'all soon. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Everybody.